I think I did. Okay. So this I had to share to quite a few. Hey, Lorna, here I am. I had to share to quite a few platforms because I have, I have different people in different places. And for some reason, people want to tune in tonight. So, hey, Mary, how you doing? So you guys are going to see me on different channels. I want to thank everyone that's going to join me tonight. You may see me on my business page. You may see me in my Pipe and Drape group. You may see me in my Client Attraction Mastery group. No matter where you see me, just give me a high. Hey, Tavana, give me a high five. Give me a fist bump. Let me know you're here. If you guys catch this on the replay, put a hashtag replay. Let me know you're here. And if you have a question about anything you hear me say, post it in the chat. And you guys know, even during the replay, I still answer my questions. I did, because it's all about engagement, right? So tonight, I made it to Posh Late Night Biz. And I got a couple things I want to discuss tonight. One of the things I wanted to discuss was some of the stuff that we're talking about in our in the membership group, right? Because it's important. It is kind of prevalent to what is happening in each of our business in some way, shape, or form, right? And that is self-sabotage, right? A lot of us have these self-sabotaging behaviors, and it's really limiting, and is we're not able to make as much as we have the potential to make, because why? We're getting in our own way, right? And this happens a lot. Hey, Sherelle. And so as I go, you guys know I'm going to look over here often to the chat. If you guys have a question, plug it in. And I posted earlier on a couple different posts. I posted it. If you had any questions that you want to ask me tonight, to post it in and I would answer them. And we got a couple of questions. So I will be answering those questions tonight. So no worries about that. And that'll be some interesting dialogue, right? That will be interesting. So we'll talk about that a little as we get into it. I just wanted to, hey, Tanya, I just wanted to talk about a little bit about self-sabotage, because it's real prevalent to what we are doing. And a lot of us, we do it, right? We do it. And even if you guys have ever been on any of my breakthrough calls or any of that, I make it my business before I work with anyone, especially on an intimate level, especially on one-to-one, like one-to-one coaching, group coaching, any of that, because I want to know, like we all do self-sabotage to some degree. I want to know what does yours look like? What do you do to get in the way of your progress? And I need to know if we're working together, because I can identify and I can call you out on it, because I will call you out on it, right? But it's another thing is, some of us don't even know some of the self-sabotaging behaviors that we do, right? For example, I jumped on earlier and, I mentioned this. One key thing that we have as it relates to our business when it comes to investing is, something may sound like a good idea initially, right? And we'll jump on board, right? And not even really have a clear, definitive reason why we think this thing. That's the shiny object syndrome, right? It's just seem cool, everybody doing it. Okay, let me jump on board too, right? Then after you make the purchase, what normally happens? What normally happens is that the remorse sit in, right? You think about it. You're like, oh, did I just do that? Right? Did I just do that? So what has happened, like a prime example is like, let's just say the draping workshops, for example. I normally try and make them as digestible as possible. I really do. And I'll go out, I try and make it as digestible as possible with payment plans and things like that. And I get it in the beginning. You're like, oh yeah, I want it. And you jump on it, right? And then life happens. Life happens. It happens in some way, shape, or form. But in that moment, really is when you have to realize, why did you make that initial step in the first place, right? Sometimes you have to be so, I'm going to go to my word, intentional about what you're doing and what it is you want for you, ultimately what you want for your business. And you kind of got to stick to your guns. Because normally how I do it, I'm not too sure how you guys do it. Hey, Mary, Erica, and Javelin, when I make any kind of decisions like that, I done thought about it. I done mulled over it. Like, I did everything I could possibly do. If I'm still kind of like, it don't sit well in my spirit, I'm gonna go to sleep on it. And I normally have my answer in the morning. So normally whatever that answer is, I don't care what happens, it's going down. It's going down. But like how I used to be, and I've been this way like almost all my life, right? Until I've been on this new phase and just being aware of my behavior patterns and my limiting beliefs and getting in my own way. Until you're really aware, you can't really do anything about it because it's in your subconscious. So I would do that. Like I would go and get something like, oh, and then the next day I'm like, why did I do that? And they used to call me the take back queen. I tell you, they would call me the take back queen because I would go on these binge shopping sprees. I don't know what it was. It just was something about me and shopping. And I'm not a person that really shop. I'm a cheapie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm real frugal on where I spend my coins. So I would go out. Look, guys, that's why I don't carry money to this day. I would go out, and if I have, let's just say I've got $500 in my pocket, I'm coming back with 50 cents. I didn't hit every store. If I got $1,200 in my pocket, I'm coming back with 45 cents. It just was something mentally that was happening where while I'm out and I have, I just would just continuously shop till I couldn't shop no more. And I just would find dumb stuff. And then I would go home, right? And I would have fun while I'm home. I would take all my little bags in the house. And then I sit there and think about it. I'm looking at stuff. I said, why did I get that? And I said, I'm never going to wear this, or I'm never going to use that. And it's so funny because this happened almost, I used to have a habit of doing this like every other day. As quick as it came in this house is as quick as it went out the house. So I would load everything back in the car, and I would be taking stuff back just because I used to do this all the time. So it just, I don't know what it was. I just had this attachment to this shiny object syndrome. I'm a gadget freak. Like, oh, that's like, I would just find dumb stuff. Like, oh my God, I love it. Just, it looks so cute. I could put it on my desk. Then I would get back home and I'm like, I really didn't need that. Like I would look at my balances like, that don't make sense. So I would take everything back. Right. So now I'm a lot more cautious in, what I'm purchasing and what I'm investing in. And I just am. And it's funny because what we do, like we'll have this idea, right? There's something I want to do, I want to up-level my business, and then things would happen, like life would happen. And then we would start feeding into, somebody feel me, somebody else in this group is the take back queen, because I saw them thumbs up. So we would start feeding into those same limited beliefs. And then you get the, at first it's exciting. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna up-level my business. I'm gonna invest in this. But then you sit there and you think about it. And I don't know where your thoughts take you, but I'm gonna tell you some of the most common thoughts that I've experienced, or some of the most common thoughts that a lot of my clients experience, a lot of my students experience, right? One of the most prevalent ones is cheap clients, right? So a lot of us is in that feast and famine, like that's normally what we attract. That's normally what we're used to. We kind of frustrated behind it, all that good stuff, right? So it's a part of you that feels now if you up level, nobody gonna buy your services, right? They're not gonna be able to afford them. And I want you, I know I'm talking to somebody, I don't know who. And if I'm talking to somebody, just give me a heart or something. Just let me know I ain't by myself. I want you to realize that whole process is a process within itself. Once you get to investing in your business, once you get to putting in different systems, once you get to treating your business as a business, you're no longer attracting those people that's really going to haggle your prices. The ones that's really going to sit there and try and negotiate you down. Okay, thank you. I just was hoping I wanted by myself. So it's like a process. So you guys will hear me say a lot of times, trust the process. And I'm saying that for a reason, because I was one of those ones, like, I'm a real strategic, I'm real analytical. If it don't make sense, it don't make sense. But sometimes we could tend to overthink things because we think we know everything. And sometimes you really do have to trust the process. when you are doing everything on your end that you're supposed to do, you got to trust that the universe is going to handle the rest. Like, you honestly have to depend on your fear at that moment. And just your fear got to be, your faith. Your faith got to be so big that it really outshines your fear, because fear is, it's there for a reason. It's really there as like a safety mechanism. Like, it's really keep you playing small and keep you safe and keep you at bay. But that's not how we are designed to be. Like, you really, all of you ladies, like, and if I have any gents here, sorry, all of you guys are really supposed to have whatever it is you want to have in abundance, but you are letting your fears keep you at bay. You are letting whatever your limiting beliefs are, that no one's going to buy or no one's going to pay this, you're not going to be able to find the right kind of clients, or some of you think that those kind of clients don't even exist. And I want to tell you, I don't know where you get that from, because that is the furthest thing from the truth. I thought the same thing. I'm not going to lie. I did. But it's not true. You guys see people having these lavish events all the time. They got to be somewhere. What's happening is you're not attracting them and you don't know how to find them. That's really all that it is. It could be your branding. It could be your messaging. It could be your confidence. It could be so many things. And one of the first things I tell you guys to do, especially anyone I work with closely, let's not pay attention to what's happening in the world. First, let's work on your inside. And a lot of the ladies I'm working with now that's in my membership program, like, why are we talking about mindset? Because that's where it starts. That is where it starts. You really have to be mentally prepared to scale. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to handle it. And when things are in front of you, your fear going to jump in and say, oh, let's not go down that road. And then you didn't jump in your own way. You didn't jump in your own way. It's a lot of things, and I know, and I'm saying this because I know. I'm saying it from experience. I was one of those, and I still do sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. I do play it safe because I am so used to being in control of what happens around me, right? And when you're in control, you're used to things operating a certain way, right? You're used to it. You're being in control of how this happened, how that happened. Sometimes you gotta say, bump that. And you just got to let things naturally flow the way it is intended to flow. Once you make what you want known to the universe, like, don't keep it in your head. Write that thing on some paper, yell it out loud, ooh, do something. You have to let the universe know what you want. You have to be intentional. You have to ask for exactly what you want. Not just from the universe, but even from people. When people don't show up and don't treat you according to how you want to be treated, it's your fault. Especially if you didn't tell them how you want to be treated, or you didn't let them know what you need from them. It's your fault, right? She said, hold up. She said, this is so me. Absolutely. I'm telling you guys. She said, y'all tripped me out. But I knew I was going to be coming on for one tonight. And it just was so funny because it's just where I was all day. All day I just was in this space. And a lot of it comes from, I'm telling you, you guys give me a sense of fire, a sense of fuel. And sometimes, and I'm gonna tell you guys my limiting beliefs. I used to believe, and that's one of the questions too about going live. I used to believe, not that I wasn't intelligent enough, because I know I'm smart as a whip, right? But I'm not the one that graduated from Harvard. I'm not the one that know them words that got 5 syllables. That ain't me. A lot of my words have 1 to 2 syllables at max, but you know exactly what I'm saying. So I had to understand that my messaging is strong enough and it resonates with people. That took me a long time, right? I said, I say this and I say that, but I don't care. Now I don't care, because who is intended for, they're going to get it. And those that don't is going to go over their head. That's not my job to worry about that anymore. But the moments I was worried about that, guess what I didn't do? I didn't show up. I wouldn't go on live. I wouldn't talk. I wouldn't because of my own beliefs about myself. But the minute I did, whatever I had to say, somebody needed to hear. And whatever I needed to say was specifically for those that needed to hear it. And that's the same thing I tell you guys. I don't care what you feel like your stuff ain't perfect. It ain't good enough. Wherever it is right now, with all my broken English, it's good enough. It's good enough. And as you perfect it and you critique it and you tweak it, it's going to get better, right? And then your audience is going to grow with you. That is like, I'm telling you guys, that was like liquid gold to me once I learned that, because what I was thinking, what I was thinking, that it wasn't good enough. Nobody want to hear it. Somebody's going to make fun. I don't care now. I really don't. And it took me a long time. And I just would, that just was my thing. Like I would get like not a panic attack, but it would be like, oh my God, do I push play? Oh, do I push start? Oh, what I gotta say? Oh, hold on. Is the light right? Hold on. Is my wig straight? Like, it was just ridiculous. And I'm putting myself through all that stress, and for what? Because 9 times out of 10, I still said what I needed to say. Even if I tried to, memorize some Harvard language or whatever, it's going to come out naturally how I'm used to speaking. It's going to come out naturally and give off my personality. And honestly, once I learned to be in my truth is when I was able to connect even deeper with you guys. I was able to connect even deeper. And that's when all that stuff came, like, oh, your personality, because why? Because you guys saw me. Now it's not the, I'm reading off of it. Hear ye. Like, I can't do that. I don't know how to do that, right? So I really want you guys to get out of your own way. This is, you will hardly ever hear me say the new year, because that's not my thing. I'm not into the 2020, 2019. That's not my thing. I am into versions of yourself. I am in a new version of myself. I am not the version I was a couple months ago. I'm not, because I've grown, I've learned, I've got rid of a lot of things that were keeping me at bay. So same thing for you guys. I don't care what your mode is. If you say new year, new phase, new you, new boo, whatever it is, take it and run with it. Stop letting it utter off your mouth and do nothing about it. Like, this is your season. And the only way you're going to elevate to the next level, you maximize everything you have to maximize at this level. Like, get it while you can. And I get it. Life happens. I do. But you have to be, if you have talked to me, and how can I say this? Because some of you guys is kind of new to my live, but y'all know I come straight from the hip and I give it to you exactly how it is. You cannot tell me you want something so bad, but then you give me a bunch of excuses why you're not going after it. The conversation going to end there. Like, I have to see you really exhausting all your opportunities that are given to you, right? Like, that is a lot of my ladies that's in here that I talk to intimately, we connect with. You guys know when I see you with the hustle and bustle, if it's anything I can do, I do. I go over and beyond, because a lot of that is from my own previous experience. I didn't have that. People would see me running around dragging my knuckles on the ground and would not offer assistance, right? I don't know if it was intimidation, like they didn't want to see me win. I don't know what it is, but that's not for me to worry about. All I know is I couldn't stop. And 2, and I still can't stop. That's it. You can't stop. I want to tell y'all that too. You can't stop, because no matter what level you reach, there's always another level. There's always another devil, right? So you always have to be willing to invest in yourself, invest in your business, balance things out, right? That's like so important. Like, it's no sense in really wanting this kind of lifestyle, or like, you can't run yourself ragged, right? And that was me in the beginning. Like, oh my goodness, like I ate, breathe, live this, right? And ultimately I got overwhelmed to the point I quit. I did. I quit, went on a hiatus, call it what you want, but that was not what I wanted in this kind of arena. It really wasn't. So when I talk to you guys about mindset, and I talk to you guys about balance, and I talk to you guys about toxicity and limiting beliefs and all that, because that's where it starts. That is where it starts. I don't care how high on the ladder you go. If you don't deal with those underlying issues, they're going to show up. They're going to show up in your relationships. They're going to show up in your business. They're going to show up in how you treat people. They're going to show up. Trust me, I'm telling you, trust me. They're going to show up. So that was really main thing I wanted to tell you guys was really with the procrastination. I get it. It happens. We human. You know, life happens. But you have to, and this is kind of, I think, how I've been over the past maybe 2 years. Like, I have been so dedicated to me. My whole entire life has been catered to other people, right? That it just was. And I don't know if it came from guilt or it came from I felt obligated, or I don't know where it came from. And quite frankly, I don't care. But all I know is over the past couple of years, I turned that dedication around and I'm now dedicated to me. And I have to be dedicated to me because if I go, if something happened to me, how am I able to take care of other people? Like, you have to realize, and a lot of us, mothers, wives, business owners, still working, all that good stuff. Like, you have to take care of you. I get it. I get it. Some things you say it's bigger than life, and you give your soul. I get it. But if you're not taking care of you, ultimately, when you go down, the ship gonna go down. It's gonna go down. You have to take care of you. You have to make sure that you are at a place where you ultimately are happy. And that should not be determined or based upon who you with, where you at, where you live. It shouldn't be based upon that. That's internal. So I don't know. That's internal. Like, you have to be so in love with you that has to be priority. That just has to be priority. And it took me a long time to get there, right? And so now I don't care, call it what you want, call it selfish, I don't care, but I deserve that. I deserve that. When you go and you dedicate your life and all that, your existence to other people, and ultimately you left feeling empty, like, you can't, who gonna suffer? You and everybody else. You cannot pour out of an empty cup. You can't. So you have to do whatever it takes to make sure your cup is filled. So now, and this is what I've done over the past couple of years. If it's something that's not adding value to my life or value to my existence, I ain't got time for it. I don't have time for it, because ultimately I'm gonna end up not happy, right? I'm gonna end up depressed. I'm gonna end up not succeeding. I'm gonna end up being comfortable with whatever this current state is. And you guys deserve more. We all deserve more. So whatever that looks like, you have to make the necessary changes and trust the process. Okay? Trust the process that you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. Some of you guys got these, and I think, I don't know, I feel some kind of way when some of you guys, you just want this thing so bad. But I hear all those other excuses, right? I hear it and I get it. Trust me, I get it. I know, I've been there. That was me too. But you got to get to a place where you matter. You matter, especially if you have the opportunity or you have the ability to change lives. Like, I have the opportunity and ability to change generations. So I'm going to be selfish. And if whoever don't understand, you will in a couple years. They be all right. They be all right. They will in a couple years. And you have to just trust the process. And it's no longer mine to worry about, right? You have to know that you are on a mission. You're on a mission. A lot of you guys, I asked you about your why, your foundations and all that, and the stuff that you guys give me, you're on a mission. You got a set of instructions, and a lot of you guys are not carrying them out. You're not carrying them out for whatever reason. You're not carrying them out. And if this is the moment that you're being shook, let this be your moment that you're being shook. I'm tapping you on your shoulder and I'm telling you, this is your opportunity to show up for you. Don't worry about who didn't show up for you. Don't worry about who didn't come through. Don't worry about this person didn't do this. You ain't got to worry about that. You have nothing to do with that. But when you don't show up for yourself, oh, that's all you. The only person you could blame is you. It's you. Okay. How about it? She said self-preservation. Absolutely. Edith, I'm glad you're here. Absolutely. Brenda, you're on a mission. Yes. And Mary, that's what mistakes are for a reason. Woo boy, I am so grateful. And I don't call them mistakes. I really don't feel like I've had any mistakes. I've had segments, right? Lessons that has really built me to where I am today. Where if they weren't there, I wouldn't have that knowledge, that experience that I've learned from, right? And, you know, a lot of things, some things are harder than others, but you have to be in a place where it's not even about humility and being humble. It's just you have to be at a place where the world don't owe you nothing. And when you operate and have no expectations, how can you be disappointed? I have no expectations. All I know is I'm here for a short amount of time. And while I'm here, I'm going to try to get as much done while I'm here. If things don't go right, I'm not disappointed. I'm just going to go down the other yellow brick road, right? I'm going to go down the other yellow brick road. And it's just, I can't tell you mentally where I am and how long it took me to get there. Like, I would be so bent out of shape, like, if things didn't go right. I really would be. But I was at an unhappy place in my life. I was at a place where a lot of things was going on and I didn't understand. I was blaming people and everything that you could possibly think of was happening, right? But until you are able to take accountability for your involvement in whatever happens, because you play to some degree, then you're able to see things differently. Then you're able to digest things differently. Then you're able to not even be bothered. It's like, oh, that's what we're doing today? Okay. You know, I don't have to go upside Lou head and smack Sally up. Like, it's not even necessary. Really, that's just wasted energy, right? It's just wasted energy. So it takes a lot, but Sonya say shaking. But I'm telling you guys, like, I'm seeing so many of you, and I'm seeing like a lot of the changes you guys are making and a lot of the adjustments, like I'm seeing it, and I'm like, wow. I'm like, okay, somebody said something to her, because I you know, like, sometimes you could deliver. I mean, you could receive the same message, right? But you could just receive it from two different people, and it hit differently. It hits differently. So I'm like, oh, when I see you guys making these shifts, and I don't call it like some what I've heard, some of you guys feel as if you started on this business journey, right? And you went, and y'all know, I started out as an event planner. I ain't planning no event for nobody ever again in life. So you start out on this, you know, that's what you want to do. And then some of you feel that when you shift gears, that is like, okay, you gave up, or, you know, you invested all this time, all this energy, all this money into that, and you just kind of feel like you're stuck. No, absolutely not. You're not. Some things and some moments in your life require a pivot. And it's just that. It's just, you're going this way and you got to pivot that way. It's not about you giving up. It's not about, you know, you failed. It's not about any of that. If that was the case, I'd have failed at a lot. I didn't. I think I tried my hand and I ain't like it, and I pivoted, right? And that's really what it's all about. Stop really being hard on yourself. Stop feeling like you got to stay in it because you've been, you know, just like a relationship. You know, you've invested all this time, or I'm just going to stay with John because we've just been together 15 years. John, I'm out. This ain't working for me, boo. I'm out. And it has to be, you got to be that dedicated to yourself that you're ready to make those kind of adjustments. Otherwise, you're going to stay stuck where you are. The only way you're going to elevate is by changing your surroundings or your places or the people, whatever it is. Like, you have to get out of that, because if your belief isn't big enough right now, get around somebody who is. Once you hear that enough, oh, yours will get boosted. Mine did. Mine did. Get around someone else. And sometimes you got to depend on that. Or not depend on, but sometimes you have to rely on that, because sometimes we don't really believe in ourselves as much as we should. But when you hear it enough from someone else, oh, you start to, now your shoulders going to go back. Now your neck going to go up. You're like, oh, I don't know, isn't it? Right? But if you're constantly hearing the same thing, oh, you doing another event? Oh, you ain't make no money. Like, you're like, nobody need to hear that. Get yourself a crew, get yourself some cheerleaders, get yourself around some people that's doing what you ultimately want to do so they can help you get there. Right? And then when you get there, and if they ain't grow, you leave them behind too. And then you go get yourself another group of people that's at a level where that you ultimately want to get to. And that's elevation. When you're not elevating and you're not growing and you're not scaling, you playing small. I didn't play small too long, y'all. I did it too long. I ain't doing it no more. I ain't doing it no more. So a lot of my situations will change very often, because that's just, it's all, I'm a sponge. Like if I could learn something, oh, I'm with it. I'm like, oh, I can learn something. Oh, we together, right? That's just, I love learning. That was one of my traits for us ladies that did the trait test. That was I am a sponge. I love learning. Or some people call them sapio, something. When you're just attracted to a person's intelligence, like that is me. I'm like, oh, they so smart. I love it. It just lights me up. I don't know. It's just something about it. So yes, like everything, like all that, like everything is versions. It's versions of yourself. I am not the same version I was last year. Last year, I wasn't the same version I was in 2016, right? But if you could look back and you are the same version that you were, it's time to make a change. It's time to implement some changes. And I mean immediately. And the minute you do, that is when you're going to feel that shift, and you're going to want to pivot, or whatever it is that you have to do to make you feel like you are larger than life. Like I walk around like I'm larger than life because I am. That's how I feel every day. I don't know why, but I am. I'm larger than life. If I don't think I'm larger than life, who will? If you don't think you're larger than life, who will? If you don't think your services is like the best thing that your potential clients can get, why are they going to buy? If you're making them feel like you're in competition with somebody else, I ain't in competition with nobody. I'm the best thing popping. And you got to tell yourself that. You have to tell yourself that. You're the best thing popping. Whatever you have to offer, your potential clients, the only way they're going to get what their needs is they go through you. And if you don't believe that, you need to go and make whatever necessary changes so then you do believe that. Because I didn't believe that 2 years ago. But I do now. I do now. So whatever that is, and the quickest way, thanks for the hearts. Y'all know I love hearts. The quickest way to ultimately get to that is to just buy what you don't know. Don't try to figure it out. Because it ain't like you're not like, don't reinvent the wheel. If it's something you don't know, and until I really got to that point, boy, I was working 25 hours a day trying to figure this out, trying to figure that out. Like, I don't have time for that. Because ultimately, while I'm trying to figure it out, I done lost so much money while I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like, oh, they know that? Oh, let me hook up with this person. Let me buy into their program so they could give me the blueprint, right? And the minute I started doing that is when everything for me started changing. Everything for me started changing. And it's not going to never be a one-time fix-all. Like, you're not going to get no one person, no one coach, no one mentor, and then boom, that's it. No, you're going to be able to scale or grow to whatever level they can get you at. Because I'm quite sure they ain't maximized either. They still got some growing to do. And then you more than likely, you probably got to go and get another one. And that's the process, right? You have to keep constantly wanting to be a better version of yourself. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna be like in 10 years. I don't know. I know. If I keep this up, I'm gonna be pretty daggone amazing. I'm already amazing. I'm already amazing. But I'm gonna be amazinger, if that's a word. Yes. Absolutely. And Sonia, that's the truth. You are only in competition with yourself. I get it. People throw the competition word around because people doing the same thing in the same industry. Okay. But I don't feel like I'm in competition with anybody. Why? Because nobody is precious, right? Sonia, you just said it. Nobody is Sonia. The only time if I ever want to play small, I'm in competition with myself, because now I'm going against whatever I done told myself. I'm not good enough. Nobody gonna buy my services. Nobody want it. Like, I did that. And I believed into it. So I just wanted to tell you guys that, like, really kind of, it's a process though. I'm not gonna lie. It's a process. I've been on this, like, mastering myself process for a few years now. But the key is you just got to want it, right? You have to want it. Like, I knew I am here to be huge. I know I am. I feel it in my gut. But I sat there and played small for so long because I thought, with my background, where I'm from, and what I had access to, which was nothing, I didn't think I could ever be even in the arena to play with those kind of big timers. Now I'm coming. And I know that I have to continuously perfect my craft, right? I have to continuously try to improve to be a better me. It's a process. But the only thing it takes is the desire to want to change. That's where it starts. And I wanted to change bad, baby. I did, because I knew, like, why, if I know I have all this to give, but for some reason it's not, I'm not delivering, or I'm not, and have access to. I did that. I am the one that played small. I am the one that kept my mouth closed because, I didn't think it was Ivy League material. Nobody care about that. I'm never going to be Ivy League material. That ain't me. That ain't how I spent the last 39 years of my life. I spent the last 39 years of my life at the School of Hard Knocks. So that is what you guys want to hear. And that is what resonates with you guys, because not necessarily saying that's your, you graduated School of Hard Knocks, but it's transparent and it's authentic. And that is what people connect with, right? And that is how I want you guys. And I tell you guys, do this in everything you do. I don't care if you're selling lip gloss. Somebody want it. All you got to do is put it out there that is what you're doing. You got to connect with the people that want it. It's just that simple. Because everything that all of you guys have, somebody want. You just got to find the people that want it. That's it. You cannot just settle. You can't throw a rock in the pond like, all right, well, whoever bite it, no, that's my customer. No, absolutely not. You got to be so strategic in that thing. You got to throw the rock in the pond and say, I'm throwing this rock to Sally. Be strategic enough. Guess what? The rock going to hit Sally. I'm telling you. All right, so I'm going to go down to my questions. Amazinger. Yolanda, don't. Amazinger, absolutely. I was told I say amazing so much, so I had to switch it up a little bit. Amazinger. Okay, so if any of you guys write Miranda, it has to be your faith. It got to be so much bigger. Donna, I'm ready for change too. Baby, I wake up every day asking God to just make me better than I was the day before. I don't care how small it is. I don't care. Like today, Monday, I ain't brushed my hair. Lord, just let me today, please. If I could just brush my hair. Hey, I've made progress. Some people get so focused on these big, grandiose movements, like, oh, if it ain't big enough, it don't count. What? Yes, it do. I didn't drink water. Y'all know, a lot of you guys know I struggle with drinking water. Boy, I do. I got some right here. And y'all say I ain't hit that glass yet. But, Lord, I only had one glass yesterday. Today, let me get 3. Tomorrow, let me focus on getting 6. You guys got to learn how to really celebrate the small wins because they count. Because if you do them repetitious enough, you ultimately going to reach your goal. And then when you look back, you're like, oh, I did it. But you have to really appreciate the process. You're not going to, today you're struggling with drinking 1 cup of water and tomorrow you drinking 64 and you continuously drink 64. No, it don't happen that way. Trust me, it don't. Not in my world anyway. I ain't drink 64 yet. Okay, so I'm gonna go to my questions. If any of you guys have a question, connect with it. Oh, Tavana. Okay, wait a minute. You had another question. So when you say how do you connect, what do you mean? How do you connect with your audience? If you mean how you connect with your audience, first tell me in the comments. And is how I'm connecting with my audience. It's just that simple. You connect. You have to realize who your audience is. You have to realize what is your pitch, like what is it that you have, and then you have to have an audience that it feels the need, right? Like you have to be clear on that, and you have to be sure that you have something that your audience wants, right? Like you have to be. It has to have a purpose. You can't just jump on, right? Like I could have jumped on here today and said, I don't know, I could have been talking about something foolish because y'all know your girl. I could have been talking about something foolish. But if it's not stuff you guys want to hear, the people that have been with me now would have been jumped off, right? You have to have content. You have to have solutions to stuff that they need. That is like key. That is key. Yeah, now I'm not going to hold on. Now, I wouldn't say be limitless now. I wouldn't say all that because everything has a limit. Everything has a limit. But for one, you definitely have to be transparent, and you have to let them in your world, right? I had to learn this because I used to just, ta-da, I'm here, or, like, backdrop done. Like, it's just stuff like that. Like, you really, and I talked to my ladies about this yesterday, you really have to let them in your world. So I'm not sure what your services are, but it's nothing that warms an audience up more than letting them a part of your process. So let's just say you are a treat maker, right? I don't know if you are, I'm just example. If that's the case, like it would be amazing for them to see some behind the scenes stuff, right? Like you're letting them in your world, because that's just like exciting. Like you have this amazing gift, and that's what you do. All they see is the finished product. Like, ta-da! Like, how she do that? So it don't have to be your whole process, but just letting them in to your world. And even with the intimate stuff, right? Some people go a little over and beyond with letting them into your real world, but just letting them in the little intimate stuff. You out on, play date with your kids, or just letting them see that you are a human being. You're not a robot. Like you do regular stuff like everyone else. And a lot of us think that it's all about pitching services, and that's where you got it so wrong. You got it so wrong. Like, I don't mean no harm, and a lot of you hear me say this often. Nobody care about your services. Honestly, they don't. I don't care how pretty your bedazzled shoe is. I don't care how pretty your backdrop is. Like initially, if that's all you have to offer is this beautiful end result, that's where it's going to end. Like you haven't baited me enough to make me want to buy. People buy from emotion. You got to make them feel a certain kind of way, right? Your product could be amazing. It could look great. But if they don't know, like, and trust you, it's going to stop at looking great. It's not going to convert. Like you really have to learn how to chemically connect with people, because that is what makes people buy is emotion. Is they have to feel like they trust you. They have to feel like they connect with you. They gotta like you, right? Let's just be honest, they gotta like you. Hold on now, Donna. All right, so you gotta kind of help me understand this one. So you say you have a phlebotomy school and a jewelry business. How can you stand out to get students and customers? So is your question, you want your students to be customers? Like you want people to come to the school to learn how to draw blood, and then you want them to buy a necklace? Help me out. But honestly, normally those kind of situations do work out because you've already developed a relationship. That's not a cold audience. If I'm saying this right, I think I got it right. If that's the case, normally a lot of us that still have our jobs, right? Or still have whatever, like our daytime employment, and we do these like amazing crafts or whatever it is we do, that's the audience. It's so much easier to pitch to them because you already have a relationship. You already have a relationship. That's not a cold audience. They already, that's just saying if they like you. Let's just hope, that they like you. If that's the case, it's easy. You just let them know what it is that you have, or like what kind of support that you would like. It's really all about your verbiage at that point. Like you just gotta play nice and be nice, because people they like nice experiences. Like people love, and they always, the way to have client retention, treat people kindly, right? Like a lot of my students and a lot of my clients have been with me for quite some time, right? So normally if I get a new tutorial, if I have a new class, or if I have a whatever, 9 times out of 10, this person has bought from me before. And it's all, at that point, it's all about making your client experience the journey as amazing as possible, right? As amazing as possible. So sometimes most times rather, when that is the case, I just told you, they don't care about your services. They're not going to care about the necklace. They really caring about you, and they want to support you in such a way. That's really where that come from. So the key takeaway, if I said it right, I'm not sure I said it right. Oh, okay. So I was like, you need your students to buy jewelry. Okay. So that's 2 different things. So you're talking about 2 totally different audiences, 2 totally different products, 2 totally different services. So I'm not understanding where the jewelry would lie in, as opposed to the students with phlebotomy. Or is this just 2 separate things that you want people to buy jewelry and people to come to class? And if that's the case, you got to market like a machine. That's really what it is. You got to market like a machine. And that falls under branding. Like your branding has to be, it got to be credible. It has to be credible. One thing I can say, I built my whole brand. I don't care if it's a draping workshop. I don't care if it's a $2 tutorial. I don't care what it is. I build credibility around everything I do because I care about people that buy from me, right? I just want to make sure that, you know, how can I make this better? Or what was your experience like? Or that, like, you have to market like a machine. And the key is connections. It's all about connections. This whole social media thing, what is it about? It's about connections. It's about being social. It's really not about jumping on Facebook and saying, hey, I got this that I'm selling. You really got to build up a reputation for it to just, once you do put something up, all right, people buy. You have to build credibility for that to really happen. Right, Sonia, that's like, I kid you not. When I first started, and I think you probably was when we first started, like even at my office job, and when I was doing my treats and stuff, they was my prime customers, and half of them would buy it. And I swear, like my executive director had my little strawberry cup on his table for, like, guys, the strawberries grew mold. So he didn't care. They didn't care about what I was selling. They was just being supportive of what I had going on. So I'm glad they like me. Glad they like me. But I do want to get to my questions because I told them I would answer them. So the first thing was, Lorna wanted to know, and I hope you're still here so you can hear the answer. And if you're not, I hope you catch it on replay. So for introverts, right? And a lot of you guys don't think I'm an introvert, but I am. I don't know why when I get on here, it seems like I'm not. But if you guys see me in person, I am so like the Pink Panther. Like I'm always in the back of the room, like with my hat down. Like and when I'm at conferences, networking events, like I don't do no networking. I have to get better with that. Like that's just not my thing. I'm an introvert. I like sitting back and just watching the atmosphere and I've always been that way. So I don't know why I get on here and run my mouth. That's because, you know, we didn't build the bond, so I could do that. So for introverts, right? You say how is it that you can get from that trait and really like go live and things like that? So it's interesting because, and I can answer this because that was my situation. So when I was first trying to do this thing, right? As far as go live, like that's just one of my things. Like I would go live and then I would end it real quick. And then I would delete it because I was uncomfortable. It just, I don't know. I just was. And I always had that thing, like with my speech. I just was like, you know, somebody going to say something ignorant. And I knew at that time, I wasn't who I am now. So if somebody could have said something and I could have popped off. So I knew I wasn't ready to deal with the public. So I'm just being honest. I knew I wasn't ready. So, I had to practice. So one of the easiest things that I did, and which helped me to develop, like just really build up my confidence, was I would go live. But, and this is for anybody that has this issue, I would go live to myself. So when you're broadcasting, you can go live, and it asks you like who you going live to, a group, your timeline, or just yourself. Go live to yourself, right? So I used to do this. I would go live to myself, and I would, just get on. And this is also how I learned to, have an effective broadcast, because I would get on, and I was one of them people. And, I was just sitting there like, let's just wait till some people get in the room. Like, that is the worst. Don't do that. Because you do have people that's watching the replay. You don't want nobody sitting there like, you just wait. Let's just wait till people come in the room. Oh, hey, Elizabeth. Yeah, let's just give them a couple more minutes. People that catch the replay ain't got time for that. They really don't. They want you to get to it. The attention span is 3 seconds? So you got to get to it. So that was my thing, right? So I saw that I was doing that. And what the thing is, you really get to see yourself as people would see you. So when you finish broadcasting, whether you're doing a training, whatever it is, and if you're uncomfortable and you're an introvert, go live to yourself first. That way you get to see what people see. And I really wasn't worried about what people saw. I knew I wasn't sure what was going to come out of my mouth, right? And I used to, and it's so funny because I still do it, but not like I used to. Oh my goodness, guys, I used to smack my lips like every 2 seconds, like, and I was like, and then I used to say, and I still say, but I used to say it so aggressively. It was like ridiculous, right? So for me, that was great because I always try and make things better. So now I started making a mental note of these things that I was doing that I wanted to stop. And it didn't happen overnight, but I made a mental note, like stop smacking your lips, stop saying, right? Stuff like that. So until I developed, was able to build my confidence is when I was able to go live like now. Like y'all see now, I'll go live, no wig, no brows, no lashes, like, cause it's just, you have to build your confidence to that point. I just said, but I don't care now. And before I would have cared. So that's really was my way of doing it, right? And I had to realize, another thing I had to do was realize that me broadcasting had a purpose, right? And at first I just was like, all right, I'm gonna get on, I'm gonna talk. And it really didn't have no definitive, like, what's the end game, right? But until I got so clear on why am I even going live? So now I'm very clear, like why I jump on. I'm jumping on because I have things that people could use. I have some strategies that can help people. I have some, of course, I may want to mention or things like I have an end game to why I'm going live. Otherwise, and sometimes I still do ramble because that's just what I do. I don't know. That's just what I do. But I do have a whole purpose for doing it. So, she's still here. What you mean? What? So yes, so Shawnee, you talked about that. You talked about that. But yeah, so I'm telling you guys, I use my hands, like, I still do that. And I don't think I will ever stop that because I am an animated person. And that's a part of my personality. So I can't sit there and like, okay, so number one, this is what I can't do that. I got to do all that. I have to, because it just, I don't know, it kind of just pumps me up, like, I have to, right? And so I know I'm not going to stop that. Like, even when I'm talking on stage, like, I'm up there, that's just, it's a part of my zhuzh, I don't know. So don't worry about the hand thing, Tamara. Like, don't worry about that. And so I don't really say so. I know I say a lot because I'm thinking, right? And honestly, I'm being honest, like, y'all know I never gonna give y'all nothing but honesty. That is an old habit of mine because I used to have a potty mouth. I'm being honest. And me transitioning from that now, I used to talk really, really fast. So some of you may know because I still talk fast sometimes. So in efforts to slow myself down, and I just said, so isn't that something, Miranda? I never knew I said that. So in order for me to slow myself down, the was my pause, right? And that's like, let me think of my next statement so I don't curse. And I'm just being honest, right? And so it developed into a bad habit of mine. So now it's like I got rid of one habit and replaced it with another. But I would rather say than say some of the other words that I was so prone to saying. Right? I really would. So that was my strategy, and learning how to talk slower, right? And learning how to pronunciate some of my words, because some of them still all of the syllables aren't said, but y'all know what I'm saying. So y'all know what I'm saying. No, so Donna, you can, like, I used to do that as well. So you can make a video, right? And record it to yourself and then post it live. You can. The only thing you have to do is change the audience from just you to public, or
it's 10 o'clock,
whatever it is, like you're going to change it to. So yes, you can do that. The biggest thing I would say is, if you're going to do any kind of video, if you're going to do any kind of broadcasting live, do it natively on Facebook. Don't go to YouTube and then post it to Facebook. Not saying you can't, because you can, but Facebook don't like that. And if you really want to be Facebook friend, do what Facebook wants you to do. Facebook wants you to natively post from Facebook. So I'm all with the repurposing, because I do it when I'm, when I don't have the time to, natively post everywhere. But definitely natively post, meaning when I say natively, post from Facebook. Go live from Facebook. If you're not comfortable, going to a whole audience, do it to yourself, and then then make it public. You can still do that, and it will still get great engagement if you have, if people going to engage with it, as opposed to it being on YouTube. Facebook do not like you to take people from Facebook to YouTube. That's like a big no-no. So they're not going to show that many people your video, because you're going to take them off Facebook. That makes sense. It depends. Honestly, for me, I can't keep up with the constantly being done up for no live. I really cannot. I think it's about when you have good content to share. And when you have good content and you have an audience that it could benefit, I don't care if you got a bald cap on your head. They may laugh and they're going to giggle, but guess what? After that, because the content been so good, they needed it, they're going to engage with it, and your post is going to do whatever it's going to do. Whereas if you go and you got to wait till you do this, and you got to wait till you get all dolled up, for me, I'm too exhausted. I can't. I've been out today, so if I'm out, then yeah, quite naturally, I'm gonna come in this is what I got to do. But when y'all catch me in the morning, I don't have time to go and do no brows and fix my wig and I don't have time for that. So that's why most times when I'm in the morning, you guys will catch me straight out the gym. You'll catch me in a little nappy ponytail, because I have something to say. Especially if I just finished listening to Eric Thomas. Woo, Lord, y'all know I'm fired up. And I'm I got to share this with my people. I don't care what I look like. And y'all obviously don't care either, because y'all be engaging with my posts. So it's really a personal preference. Only thing I would say is you don't want to get used to that. It depends on who you listen to and who you follow. You will have a lot of those people, those coaches, mentors, whatever, that tell you got to look a certain part because people want to buy into I don't have time for that. And I'm going to sit here and tell you guys, I don't. I'm not the one that's sitting at the coffee shops and posted up and living my life and I'm on yachts, and nope. I spend most of my time in this office because I'm building a legacy, right? So if I'm nappy head or got my wig done and I got something to say, I'm going to push the live button. And my brand, I built it on authenticity and being transparent. So I'm gonna show you guys exactly what I am in rare form. Now, I wouldn't have did that, a year or so ago. I wouldn't have, right? But a year or so ago, I wasn't popping either. I wasn't I wasn't active. I wasn't showing up. I was playing small because I was feeding into, oh, I got to look a certain kind of way. No, you don't. No, you don't. So if all I'm saying is I wouldn't follow behind someone that feeds me that theory, because that's not how I want to. I don't want my brand built upon that. Is it a premium brand? Absolutely. Yes, it is. Like my business is a premium brand, but it's also authentic. It's also transparent. It's also real, right? It's real. So it's a personal preference is what I would say. Go on, Lorna. She said she's going to be practicing tonight. So yeah, so that was the answer to you. Like I definitely try it out. And the more you do it, you'll get so comfortable. Like you will get so comfortable. I didn't think I would never. Like I went from training to, like my training would be, sometimes I would do webinars so I don't have to be visible, and I would do a voiceover, right? Like I just tried everything. So it just came to the point, like I'm really not going to grow. I'm really not going to scale until I show up. Like people don't connect with my services because of my services. Some people do, but for the most part, 85% of my audience, people that buy from me, they do so. They do so because of my personality, right? They do so because of that. So that is what they have to see. If they see something otherwise, it's going to come off fake. It's going to come off fraud, and they're not going to buy into it. So, where did this girl go? Okay, so I want to say, wait a minute, I got to text my baby girl so she could do it. Another question I had, I want to get to, because I do gotta go. Introvert. Okay, Tavana. Okay, so how did I get started? It was your question. I got started because it just was an idea, honestly. Like I've kind of always been, I'm not gonna say I've always been in events. No, I haven't. I've always been creative, but I come from corporate, like my job, I was with 8 years. I come from everything but the events industry. I come from corporate. I was there for 8 years. I've worked at DOC. You name it, I've done it. I did home health. Like I did nursing for maybe about 8 years. I can't remember, but a long time. I did everything other than this, right? But this started as an idea. Where is she at? She fell asleep. Guys, y'all gotta give me a second because I gotta get the door. Wait a minute. My baby girl then fell asleep on me. Let me see if it's open. Okay, so how I got started is, it just was an idea. We had went to an event, and it was a they put the event together themselves, and it was really, really nice. I was like, oh, I could do this. So it just really started that. It was just like that. I think I went to the event like on a Tuesday. By the time I went home, talked about it, then talked about it with my bestie like the next day, like that very next day, I had already went and made the decision that this is what it's going to be. And by the next week, after, me and my cousins and my besties went over a name, I already had my registered name. Like, this is what I'm going to do. And that's kind of how I've always been. And that's why I think I'm so passionate about action takers, because it's nothing like, it's one thing to have these amazing ideas, right? But it's going to stay an idea until you put action behind it. And I can't keep stuff in my head. Otherwise, I'm going to forget it. Yeah, some of you guys know I got a bad memory, right? So I normally, if I got something, I think it through and I go to bed and it's the same thing in the morning. Oh, that thing is ready to be done. That's just how I've always been. So, but when I got into it, I ain't know anything. I'm like trying to get a mentor. I'm trying to like, come on, help me out. How to, I know how to make things beautiful, but I didn't know how to operate a business. And, I just went through that whole HELL to the point where I was like, I gave up, because I was tired of those $500 parties, $800 parties, $1,000 parties. I told y'all I'm larger than life. I'm like, I ain't supposed to be playing this small. Like, what's going on? So I didn't quit, but I paused. And that's when I did my whole business foundation over. I implemented I took every little dollar I had. I'm like, this is a business. I can no longer treat it as a hobby. And the minute I started doing that, and everything I did, I did it intentional. I knew I wanted to drape, but no, now that's too small for me. I don't just want to drape. Now I want to turn this into an institution, a university, right? I want to have the Posh Academy filled with ladies that drape, that teach, that instruct, that was my vision. And I knew that that's not going to happen just keeping those thoughts in my head. So that was really how, that's the short version, because I don't have long left. But that's really how I got started. It started as a thought. And I got to get this door, guys. Calling you. Okay, I'm back. So that's pretty much, that's the short version of how it really started, and it's just been going ever since, right? Now Chloe wants to sound off. I mean, Tam, the lighting, you just got to invest in some lighting. Like I got the O-ring, I got the boom, but my lighting's because I do tutorials. But I think for just one lighting, you'll be fine with the O-ring or whatever. Yeah, you'll be fine with that. But definitely, if you're going to get into broadcasting and anything like that, there's nothing worse or more irritating if you got somebody like me that's following you than jumping on somebody live and the lighting is horrible, or they don't have a mic. Like, you can't hear. What is it? You can't hear. I pulled the cord out. Or you can y'all hear me? Oh, you jumped on my live. Can y'all hear me? It's like I pulled my cord out. Give me a 1 if you hear me. Give me a 2 if you don't. The light not on. Okay. So that's funny. You can hear me. Okay. So yeah, so definitely get a light. And Lord, no, I don't know where you be. If I'm doing a training for like my coaching program or something, quite naturally, of course, because I'm in full-fledged. But if I'm just on like my personal page, no, I just kind of jump on when I can jump on. I'm in the car. The other day I had the meeting. I was just leaving the meeting, and okay, perfect, thanks. So yeah, so I normally jump on whenever I'm struck with whatever I feel somebody need to hear. But yeah, I don't know. But I am a girl. I am a girly girl. So I do like to look pretty. But those moments I don't look pretty, or I don't look what society would be pretty, because I think I look amazing no matter what, right? I still jump on. It doesn't bother me. That's really what I'm saying. But I am a girly girl. I love smelling good. I love looking pretty. I love looking like a lady. I love sounding like a lady. I love walking like a lady. I love being treated like a lady. I love acting like a lady. So all that is really key to my femininity, and my brand is feminine. I have a feminine brand. So I can't, do so much, and I'm walking around looking like Karate Joe. Oh my God. Okay, so that was pretty much how I got started. I got three more questions, and then guys, I do have to go. So for Erica, I'm not sure if you're still here, Erica, but you'll catch it on the replay. Erica's question was systems for okay, so the systems for inventory, what I used to use was very simple. It's so many different systems you can use. One of my biggest systems was 17 hats, right? I love 17 hats because 17 hats did a lot of things I needed in my business. But y'all know me being cheapo, it took me a while before I invested into a CRM. So a lot of ladies that I work with these days don't even have a CRM, and yet alone they don't even know what a CRM is. So if any of you ladies fall under that umbrella, definitely you should have a CRM if you're running a business. Now, if you're doing this on the side, then you can get away with systems such as Square. Square has a really, it gets the job done. Square has an element in it, and you could use it from your phone too, where it does keep track of your inventory. Now, before I was investing in CRMs and all in systems, Square was doing me quite great, right? So before I go and order new inventory, especially my linen, I would always check my phone because Square would tell me what I had. It would tell me if I had 50 white panels or 10 white, you know, because I would keep track of my inventory through Square. So that is like, if you guys are using Square, they have an option in there for you to track your inventory. Exactly what it is, I don't remember, but I could find out like what the option is. But you could label it, you could categorize it, like it was amazing. I think I still have it, honestly. I think I do. No, I don't, because that was a while ago. But now, well, not now, because I don't even really keep track of inventory now, other than my draping supplies. I use 17 hats. It has everything that you know, all of my inventory, all of my panels, all my colors, all my lengths, anything like that. So that's two options. And I think, Erica, I think you have a CRM. I'm not too sure. So if you do, like, some of them do have that option, some of them don't, but definitely check into it. And then another question was packing list. Do I use a packing list? I don't, because now I kind of don't need to, because it's like the same, especially if it's a draping workshop, it's like pretty much the same. And how mine's is set up, each student get a kit. But if it's like an event, oh yes, I use a packing list. Even if I was doing draping for an event, I use a packing list. And all of my students, that's whether they take the virtual class or whether they take a hands-on class, they get the same exact packing list that I used. It's just easy. Like, you can pass it off to a team, especially if they packing up your stuff, pass it off to a team or a team member, and they are able to like just categorize your stuff. I normally keep my stuff color by color. So all my white will go here, all my blue, and then they'll know how many panels are supposed to be what, even down to crossbar hangers, because people do walk away with your stuff. They do. So it's definitely, you want to keep track of your stuff. So yes, I do use a pack, not now, but I did use a packing list. And that was just something I typed up and always had in spreadsheet. It would be in a spreadsheet. That way it's available, you know, online, or normally I would print it out in a sheet so I could give one to each person. And last question is coaching. Now, I don't know why I wrote coaching, because I don't know what that question meant. I don't know if it meant, do you find a coach or do you recommend a coach? I don't know. So what I would say is be careful, right? Like, I've invested in quite a few coaches, right? It's nothing worse than investing in a coach. And you normally invest in a coach because you need solutions, you need a blueprint, you need a roadmap, right? And there's nothing worse than investing in somebody that clearly don't have it. Or maybe they do have a roadmap, but guess what? They have a map to a destination that you clearly don't even need to go to. It's nothing worse. So if you are at a place where you considering investing in a coach, or do your due diligence, do your homework, find out exactly what the solutions will be or the results of their program, right? And then you have to, because some people get it confused with coach and mentor. Big difference. Big difference. Coaches is very detailed, right? Analytical, really solutions based, is measurable, right? Meaning you get a coach for XYZ result, whether if that is like polishing your brand, or making better conversions, or like finding your client, whatever that is very results driven. Mentor is the opposite. Mentor is normally someone that just kind of, you know, accountable. Mentor can kind of, you guys can have conversations about anything. Oh, I stumped my toe. Oh, let me call it my mentor because I'm a little upset. Like, mentors is not specific to no one thing. And that's normally, anybody can be a mentor. Mentor is anyone that can kind of help you in whatever said area you feel like you need help in. Coach is totally different. Coach, 9 times out of 10, you're paying them. They're coaching you to a specific point, to a specific result. So it's a difference. And my biggest thing, even coaches have coaches. Never think that one coach, if you do hire one, that's going to be your end all. They're going to get you to the finish, the finish line, and that's going to be it. Absolutely not. They're going to get you to a specific level, and it's going to be wherever they can maximize that. then it's your duty to continue your education or continue your whatever road you're on and go and invest into another coach. So it's a big difference. And that's really why a lot of people get disappointed, because they think a coach, and no one coach handles everything. That's why there are different labels. There's a success coach, there's a mindset coach, there's a life coach, it's just so many different ones. So you gotta be real specific in what you're looking for and find out what areas of your business is hurting. And then you go and put, you employ somebody to make that the bomb. So that is all I have, ladies. I do got to get out of here. If you have any other questions, if I had any of my new members on here, I really appreciate you guys for joining me. If all of my older ladies, my current people, thanks for staying with me throughout this time. I'll catch you guys next week. I had an amazing time with y'all tonight for Posh Late Night Biz. And if you have any questions, plug it in the group or send me a DM, PM, message, or whatever it is. And I'll see you guys around. Have a blessed night.